Welcome back to another episode of the Flying Cow Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Barnes, Wellington's Village Manager. Today, we're diving into one of the most important investments any community can make, investing in its young people. Wellington's Community Services Department, through its Youth Services Division, is dedicated to creating brighter futures by offering enrichment programs, educational opportunities, and resources that empower both youth and families. Joining me today are two people leading that mission: Jenifer Brito, Wellington's Community Services Director, and Ian Williams, Community Services Manager, who oversees youth programming, among other things. Together, they and their teams are working every day to make sure our children, kids, youth, all have the tools, support, and opportunities they need to succeed. Jenifer and Ian, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jim. We are so happy to be here, and we look forward to discussing our Youth Programs Division.
Thank you so much, Jim.
It's great. We're really excited to have you guys here today, and a lot of the things that we're going to get a chance to at least cover and hopefully provide a lot of detailed information for the listeners. Jenifer, let's start with the big picture. Why does Wellington place such a strong emphasis on youth services, and how does this work to support the future in our community?
Great question, Jim. We're so excited to be here. And, Wellington invests heavily in our youth services because basically they are the foundation of our future. We're looking to empower our youth and our families to reach full potential while providing education, mentorship, recreation, and internships shapes the future by leading leadership in our youth. These are all facilitated through all of our programs, our partnerships throughout the community.
That's great. And so, Ian, you're really the hands-on, boots-on-the-ground person in the field with all these, together with the rest of the team that you guys have in the Community Services Department, and with almost all these programs. Can you walk us through some of the opportunities that we provide for our young residents, our students, our youth throughout the community?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel so grateful to be able to have that hands-on experience with our youth. And so I'll start from the ground roots, and that's with our youngest children, and that's going to be our HYPE program. It's helping youth to provide empowerment, in which we get to work with our local Neil S. Hirsch Boys and Girls Club to providing tutoring services. And it's amazing how this program has truly adapted over time. It started out as, staff, high school students, as well as retired educators coming to, tutor our students. But recently, our Neil S. Hirsch Boys and Girls Club received the Century 21 grant, which allows the Boys and Girls Club to go ahead and hire state-certified teachers to provide that after-school academic enrichment for our students. So that's been a true blessing. And then we have our SWAG program, Students Working to Achieve Greatness. It's a multifaceted program that provides in-school mentoring. It provides college readiness courses on Saturdays. And then if our kids show that commitment, right, we provide them summer internships which is absolutely amazing. And then we have our Youth Council. It's a civic engagement program in which we give our youth the foundation to provide and have a voice within our community and make a difference on a foundational level for the youth in the community. And then we got our bicycle assistance program, in which we work with our community police team to provide refurbished bikes to those in need, whether it be kids needing to get to school or parents needing to get to work.
I'm sure that's only a sampling of the programs we have, but wow, that's a lot. And I think in just those 4 examples you mentioned, you hit every age group I think possible as far as covering from, almost zero to into high school. And that's great. Jenifer, one of the signature programs we have that Ian didn't mention just yet is the Tom Atkins Civics 101 initiative. Can you explain a little bit about that? And over the years, as you've seen it expand as well, what makes that really such a valuable experience for the participants and their students in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Ian is going to explain because he has all the information. He's part of the program this morning, and we're excited to have him here today to explain the program.
Yeah, 100%. And so the Tom Atkins Civics 101 program started by Tom Atkins, a civics teacher at Palm Beach Central High School, and he brought an idea to us, right? And we said, you know what? To help our youth, let's go ahead and run with it. And so as the years have progressed, we hope that we've made it as interactive as possible for our youth. But essentially what we're trying to do is give a hands-on experience of what local government is all about. You see, in the classroom, right, we can get a theoretical understanding of what civics and local government is, right? But from a hands-on experience, we get the practical understanding. And so we give our students sessions in which they have a job fair, and they get to learn about the different departments within local government. And then we have a Q&A with our very own village council, in which our high school students get to ask questions that pertain directly to them, to our council, and our council provides an answer. And then they get to have their very own mock council meeting, right? How amazing is that to have such an experience at such a young age?
It's been interesting to really see that program evolve over time and how it's adapted and become even more engaging, more in-depth, and that's a great, and definitely a hat tip to Mr. Atkins for really initiating that program.
For sure, Jim. And you know what? I want to give James Smith a huge shout out right now, because as we make it more interactive year after year, James just recently implemented that job fair pitch that I was telling you about, in which we have the different departments and different divisions within the departments come out and show their specific niche within the village of Wellington.
That's definitely great. I think it makes it a lot more interactive with the students, and they get to see firsthand really what opportunities might await after they get out of high school.
100%.
That's great. So what else do you think do we have as far as the programs and how these programs interact and relate to everything else that we're doing in the community and your program specifically?
So we also do have our Super Friday program, in which it's just more of a ground roots program in which we're getting to know the kids in the community, right? Super Fridays is where we get to go out into our different neighborhoods and we get to just have fun with the kids, right? It's not educational, it's not civic engagement, it's just direct fun, right? And you know, where you really want to meet the kids at is on their level, and what they want to do is have fun.
That's great, and that's definitely something that it's not all seriousness. It's not all about studying. It's not all about school, even though that's really important. I think ultimately they're going to keep coming back if they enjoy it.
100%.
So that's good. Now, of course, all these programs don't happen in a vacuum. We can't do everything ourselves. We already talked about some of the programs we do with the Boys and Girls Club or with the high schools here locally. Talk to us about partnerships and how those partnerships really help us succeed in these programs.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jim. You know, we wouldn't be able to do it without our partners. And, you know, we host a community roundtable event once a year, and that's where we're able to really gauge our community partners and work with them on a local level. And, you know, we're looking to gauge our PBSO, our local schools, our businesses, the Crown Pearls of Wellington, who make swag all possible. And, you know, it's a shared responsibility. We see it as a community-wide where we're able to partner together to make more of effectiveness and actually reach more kids this way. You know, Ian does a really great job at reaching out to our schools and, you know, letting them know, hey, can you send out this information to the students and the parents about our tutoring partnerships, you know, our swag programs, and even our youth council. So it wouldn't be possible without all of our community partners.
It absolutely takes a village, and I think we've proven that where, you know, while we provide many of the resources, those resources wouldn't stretch as far as they do and wouldn't impact as many lives as they do without the partnerships, whether it's with community partners and nonprofit organizations, whether it's other governmental agencies, or even in some cases just down to individual community volunteers. So those partnerships mean everything to us. Talk to us a little bit more about those partnerships and some related things, Ian.
Yeah, 100%. And so I just want to give a huge shout out, as Jenifer said earlier, to the Crown Pearls of Wellington. You know, as we stated, the SWAG program is a great program, especially for our high school students, in which they get to experience things that they may not have otherwise been able to experience at such a young age. And the Crown Pearls of Wellington, they truly do play an impact in a huge pivotal role in the lives of our high school students as it relates to that SWAG program.
That's great. And you're right, absolutely. The Crown Pearls have, ever since they came onto the scene and started getting involved with programs, their impact, their reach in the village and even out beyond the village has really just increased exponentially year after year. And again, we couldn't achieve all the things we do without their assistance.
For sure.
Now, what about in terms of, you know, we have a lot of programs, we have a lot of activities that we plan individually and with other groups, but ultimately, in some cases, you know, we also put our money where our mouth is, and we can't do all the great programming, and we can't talk about all the impact we have with the youth without really the initial thing that maybe in some cases almost started a lot of our youth involvement in youth programming is the Keely Spinelli grant. Talk to me a little bit about that and explain that to us a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. So this Keely Spinelli grant, it honors the Binks Forest Elementary principal, Keely Spinelli, in which she passed away in 2008. However, she was a very passionate educator, right? This initiative couldn't have a better name than Keely Spinelli. So since the grant's inception, we have paid over $5 million to our 11 Palm Beach County School District schools within our community. And I have great news. This year, we've actually increased that amount that we'd be given to the schools to $40,000. As of the past few years, it was $37,000. So from a personal level, I think that this is the grant that differentiates Wellington from other communities, because just as you stated, Jim, it's, hey, we're putting our money where our mouth is, right? We're not just doing the lip service as it relates to education. We're actually showing that we have belief in that education, and we're making a direct investment in the lives of our youth. And so as the original saying goes, right, the proof is in the eating of the pudding, right?
That's true. And I think in this case, for sure, while some people may think, well, the school district and the individual school budgets are really really big budgets, but the impact that this grant has on an individual student basis, I think the principals can really speak to the fact, and they do every year when they're awarded these grants and when they present to the education committee and ultimately our village council, that the impact is really can be felt student by student in the learning gains and the improvements that are made by the students, which then translate to improvements that are achieved at the school level.
For sure.
So now, what about that's a lot of programs we've covered, and I'm sure there are a lot more that we haven't even and don't have time to really hit today. But what can we look at going forward as to how how these programs are going to evolve over time, and going forward, looking forward, what have we got before us here? Yeah, we're probably a couple of months into the school year. We've got several more months left, in addition to an active summer program. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, so, we're definitely looking ahead to the school year, and we're so excited to engage with our students. We have our youth council that's coming up, our swag program. We're looking at, opportunities to partner with our schools and get the information out to our schools. So that way the parents and kids are all aware of all the programs and services that we have, and this wouldn't be possible without the support of our council. This is a big initiative, and our schools are a huge input that we have within our community. And, also reaching out for volunteer opportunities. We're able to get into our schools and offer community service hours for our major events, such as Fall Festival, July 4th, even the Great American Cleanup. So we're also looking to engage in that. We are encouraging our families to also visit our Wellington's website. We do have lots of opportunities, but also, if you're really interested in participating with any of the programs that we have, you could reach out to community services at wellingtonfl.gov. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us. And, we will come out to the schools, we'll meet with the teachers. Ian and the team are very integral part of the schools this year and every year.
Yeah, and Jenifer, just to add to that point, so our youth council application just closed recently on October 1st, and of course that youth council, as we spoke about earlier, is a very big program for us, and it means a lot to us. We will be opening our food drive and our toy drive applications rather soon via Eventbrite, and if you would wish to go ahead and sign up for those, just as Jenifer stated, go to wellingtonfl.gov and search our website for those events, and we'll have the Eventbrite listed on there. And additionally, our swag program, they can get involved either by reaching out to the Community Services Department or going directly to our high school academic advisors to be a part of those programs.
That's great. Let's talk a couple more minutes, just a little bit more on the Youth Council, because that is such an important program that we have. And your team together has just recently kind of re-energized that group, and we've gotten some great participation over the last couple of years. Can you give us an idea? I know last year and perhaps even the year before, that in addition to really just being more involved in village activities all around and village and programs, is there something that the Youth Council does as a group that they try and do for the community? I know there's some programs that they try and do on their own.
For sure. And so what we try to give our Youth Council is a platform in which they want to attack, right? Last year it was mental health, and as of the last couple of years it's been mental health, especially after coming out of COVID and things of that nature. And so what they decided to do was the Day of the Youth, and that was an absolutely amazing event. And once again, I just got to give credit where credit is due. I got to give him his flowers. James Smith absolutely dynamic, right? The event was the first time of its inception, and the Day of the Youth was an absolute success. Students had the opportunity to have a talent show, things of that nature. We had singers, we had bands, we had dancing, and it was just a family-filled, fun day of activities. So, yeah, 100%. We look forward to that event, and I can't wait to see what this Youth Council has in mind to do this year.
That's great, because I think we've definitely, just in the examples you've used today, have hit, again, like I said, basically pre-K age group all the way to high school graduation and beyond with your swag internship. So that really is, testimony to, we're not just serving any one segment of the community as far as youth is concerned. We're serving the entire spectrum of youth and trying to make it a meaningful experience all the way through the program up to and including when they finally graduate high school and move on to whatever their next endeavors are. So that's great.
Yeah, and Jim, just if you don't mind me interjecting
Absolutely.
quickly, I think something that's so beautiful about the programs that we do is that, even after high school, right, these students are coming back to us and then, really like showing their testimony to the students that are coming behind them, right? How beautiful of a thing is that?
That's important, and I think probably, taking nothing away from Jenifer and you and the rest of the team at Community Services and the rest of the teams here at Public Works and Parks and Rec and all the departments that participate in trying to provide this information to the youth. Nothing speaks to them more than one of them.
Yeah.
And when you have graduates of our program, when you have participants in the program that have left the area, gone off to college, gone off to work, and done other things, and come back and say, hey, this is a great program, I think that probably, speaks volumes to the individual participants thinking, maybe I'll keep doing this and keep participating in these great programs.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that also goes to, when we went to Denver, right? Like having those students come along with us just to, share in their journey, right? With the judges that we got to experience and got to, stand in front of to show why Wellington's such an amazing city, right?
That's great. And yeah, just for a side note to give a little bit more background and context to the Denver reference, that was our great showing at the American Civic League program where we were a finalist and just showed really how great civic engagement can be. And the focus of that particular event and that particular experience was to showcase engagement with the community's youth and the community's programs. And that was, again, truly a great example of partnership, given that we not only had youth involved with that, but we also had community partners like folks from the high school, from the Crown Purse of Wellington, and the Rotary.
Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely amazing. You're exactly right on that.
That's great. Well, I think we've covered a lot of information today. Do you all have anything else you'd like to add just to kind of, again, reiterate the great programs we have and how we can impact our community's youth?
Yeah, I think if you're a youth in our community and you want to be involved, please reach out to us ASAP, because we want to be a part of your life and we want to make an impact, and we believe in the impact that you can make in this community, whether it's youth council, whether it's swag, whether it's, that peer-to-peer tutoring aspect. Please come out, please make a difference, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Jenifer, anything else?
Yeah, and just to echo what Ian said, we're so excited that we're able to offer all these programs and services to our youth, and we are so looking forward to engaging with them throughout the school year and even the summer next year. So if you want any more information, please reach out to us at communityservicesfl.gov. Thank you so much.
That's great. It's been great having you both here today and really hearing about your entire team, all the great programs we have, our community partners and everything else. Thank you so much for being here today and all the work you do, your teams do, and all our volunteers, community partners, and community sponsors. From education grants, tutoring programs, civic engagement opportunities like we just spoke about in Denver, including even local opportunities here, it's clear that our community, our great hometown, is committed to helping our youth succeed, our residents succeed, and ultimately the entire community succeed while keeping the community safe, because that's the kind of underlying theme in all of this is an engaged and involved youth is really makes the community safer and prepares those youth to move on as they grow within the village and ultimately represent the village well elsewhere, wherever they end up, whether it's in work, college, or anything else. For, again, more information on youth services programs for the Village of Wellington, visit wellingtonfl.gov under /community services, and youth services programs are included in that department. Thank you for tuning into the Flying Cow Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you can never miss an episode. Until next time, I'm Jim Barnes. Thank you for tuning into the Flying Cow Podcast, where community takes flight.